Have you ever looked at your bank account near the end of the month and wondered where all your money went? A few weeks earlier, everything seemed fine. Your paycheck arrived, you paid some bills, bought a few things you wanted, went out for dinner, maybe ordered something online, and life felt normal. Then suddenly, your account balance looked much smaller than expected. And you started asking yourself a question that millions of people ask every month. How am I running out of money again? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. The truth is, most people don't have a money problem. They have a money management problem. Now that might sound harsh, but think about it for a moment. Many people earn decent incomes. Some even earn very good incomes. Yet they're constantly stressed about money. They're worried about bills. They're worried about debt. They're worried about emergencies. And they're worried about their future. The reason isn't always that they don't make enough money. Often the real problem is that they don't have a plan for the money they already have. And that's exactly where budgeting comes in. Today, we're going to talk about how to create a budget that actually works. Not a complicated budget. Not a budget designed for accountants. Not a budget that forces you to stop enjoying life. A simple, practical budget that helps you save more money, reduce financial stress, and take control of your future. So let's get started. First, let's answer the most important question. What exactly is a budget? A budget is simply a plan for your money. That's it. It's a plan that tells your money where to go before you spend it. Instead of spending first and hoping everything works out later, you make decisions in advance. You decide how much you'll spend. You decide how much you'll save. You decide how much you'll invest. And you decide how much you'll keep available for emergencies. Think of your budget as a roadmap. Imagine getting into your car and driving across the country without directions. Could you eventually reach your destination? Maybe. But you'd probably waste a lot of time, energy, and money. A budget works the same way. It gives your money direction. And when your money has direction, your financial life becomes much easier to manage. One of the biggest misconceptions about budgeting is that it's restrictive. People think budgeting means giving up everything they enjoy. They think budgeting means never buying coffee, never going on vacation, never having fun. But that's not true at all. A good budget doesn't stop you from spending money. It helps you spend money intentionally. There's a huge difference. Without a budget, money disappears. With a budget, money works for your goals. Now let's talk about why budgeting is so important. The first reason is awareness. Most people have no idea where their money actually goes. They know the big expenses. They know how much they pay for rent. They know their car payment. They know their phone bill. But it's the small purchases that often go unnoticed. A coffee here, a fast food meal there, a streaming subscription, an online purchase, a few impulse buys. None of these expenses seem significant on their own, but over time they add up very quickly. In fact, many people are shocked when they track their spending for the first time. They discover hundreds of dollars, leaving their account every month on things they barely remember buying. That's the power of awareness. You can't improve what you don't measure, and budgeting helps you measure exactly where your money is going. The second reason budgeting matters is because it reduces stress. Money stress affects millions of people. It affects relationships. It affects sleep. It affects mental health. And it affects overall happiness. When you don't know where your money is going, everything feels uncertain. But when you have a budget, you gain clarity. You know what's coming in. You know what's going out. And you know whether you're moving toward your goals. That clarity creates confidence. And confidence reduces stress. The third reason budgeting matters is because it helps you achieve your goals. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to pay off debt. Maybe you want to start investing. Maybe you want financial freedom. Whatever your goal is, a budget helps you get there. Because goals without a plan are just wishes. A budget turns wishes into action. Now let's talk about how to actually create a budget. Step number 1 is calculating your income. Before you can make a plan for your money, you need to know exactly how much money you have available. Start by calculating your monthly take-home income. This means the money that actually reaches your bank account after taxes and deductions. If you have a regular salary, this is easy. If you're self-employed, freelance, or earn variable income, calculate your average income over the last 6 months. It's usually better to underestimate your income rather than overestimate it. A conservative budget is much safer. Once you know your monthly income, write it down. This is your starting point. Now let's move to step 2, track your expenses. This is where things get interesting. For the next month, track every dollar you spend. And yes, every dollar means every dollar. Every coffee, every subscription, every online purchase, every restaurant meal, everything. You can use a budgeting app. You can use a spreadsheet. Or you can simply use a notebook. The method doesn't matter. The awareness does. At the end of the month, review your spending. Then organize your expenses into categories. Generally, expenses fall into 2 groups: fixed expenses and variable expenses. Fixed expenses stay relatively consistent each month. Things like rent, mortgage payments, insurance, internet bills, phone bills, and loan payments. Variable expenses change from month to month. Things like groceries, entertainment, dining out, shopping, transportation, and hobbies. Understanding these categories helps you identify opportunities to improve. Now let's move to step 3. Give every dollar a job. This is one of the most important budgeting principles you'll ever learn. Every dollar should have a purpose. If you earn $4,000 per month, don't just leave that money sitting there without a plan. Assign it a job. Some money pays bills. Some money buys groceries. Some money goes into savings. Some money goes into investments. Some money pays for entertainment. Every dollar should know where it's going before the month begins. This concept alone can completely transform your financial life. Now let's discuss one of the most popular budgeting methods in the world, the 50-30-20 rule. This method is simple, effective, and beginner-friendly. Here's how it works. 50% of your income goes toward needs. 30% goes toward wants. 20% goes toward savings and investments. Needs are things required for survival and daily living. Housing, utilities, transportation, groceries, insurance, healthcare. Wants are things that improve your lifestyle. Dining out, streaming services, shopping, vacations, entertainment. Savings and investments include emergency funds, retirement accounts, investment accounts, and future financial goals. This method provides a simple framework for managing money without feeling overwhelmed. Now let's discuss emergency funds. An emergency fund is one of the most important parts of any budget. Life is unpredictable. Cars break down. Medical expenses happen. Appliances stop working. Unexpected bills appear. Without savings, these situations can become financial disasters. With savings, they're simply inconveniences. An emergency fund creates a financial safety net. Most experts recommend saving 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But if that feels overwhelming, start small. Save your first $500, then your first $1,000, then continue building from there. Progress is more important than perfection. Now let's talk about the mistake many people make. They forget about irregular expenses. These are expenses that don't occur every month, but still happen regularly. Holiday gifts, birthdays, car repairs, annual subscriptions, school supplies, insurance renewals. Because these expenses aren't monthly, people often ignore them. Then they arrive unexpectedly and destroy the budget. The solution is creating sinking funds. A sinking fund is money set aside each month for future expenses. For example, if you expect to spend $600 on holiday gifts, save $50 every month. When the holidays arrive, the money is already there. No stress, no debt, no surprises. Now let's discuss impulse spending. Impulse spending is one of the biggest budget killers. Many purchases are emotional. People shop when they're bored. They shop when they're stressed. They shop when they're celebrating. They shop when they're sad. The next time you're about to buy something, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one simple question. Do I really need this? Or do I just want it right now? That small pause can save hundreds or even thousands of dollars every year. Now let's talk about debt. Debt can make financial progress much more difficult. If you have debt, your budget should include a repayment strategy. Start by making all minimum payments. Then focus extra money on one debt at a time. Some people choose the debt snowball method. Others prefer the debt avalanche method. Both strategies can work. The most important thing is consistency. Keep making progress, month after month, little by little. Eventually, the debt disappears, and the money that was going toward debt can now go toward wealth building. Now let's talk about automation. Automation is one of the easiest ways to improve your finances. Set up automatic transfers to savings. Automate investment contributions. Automate bill payments. When good financial decisions happen automatically, success becomes much easier. You don't have to rely on motivation. The system does the work for you. Now let's discuss lifestyle inflation. This is something that prevents many people from building wealth. Imagine you get a raise. You start earning more money. That's great, but then your spending increases too. You buy a more expensive car? You eat at nicer restaurants. You upgrade your lifestyle. Soon you're earning more money than ever before, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. That's lifestyle inflation. The solution is simple. Every time your income increases, increase your savings and investments too. Don't spend every extra dollar. Use some of it to build your future. Now imagine two people. Both earn the same salary. The first person spends money without a plan. The second person follows a budget. 5 years later, their lives look very different. The first person has little savings, more stress, and more financial uncertainty. The second person has an emergency fund, investments, financial confidence, and more opportunities. The difference wasn't income. The difference was behavior. and budgeting changes behavior. Now let's talk about reviewing your budget. A budget isn't something you create once and forget forever. Life changes, income changes, expenses change, goals change. That's why you should review your budget every month. Look at what's working. Look at what's not working. Make adjustments. Improve gradually. Remember, budgeting is not about perfection. It's about progress. Even small improvements create massive results over time. Finally, let's talk about financial freedom. Financial freedom doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen because of one lucky investment. And it doesn't happen because of one big paycheck. Financial freedom is built through consistent habits, saving consistently, spending intentionally, avoiding unnecessary debt, investing regularly, and following a budget. A budget may seem simple, but simple doesn't mean powerful. In fact, some of the most powerful financial tools are incredibly simple. The truth is, your future isn't determined by how much money you make. It's determined by how much money you keep and how wisely you use it. So if you've never created a budget before, start today. Not next week, not next month. Today. Write down your income, track your expenses, create a simple plan, and begin taking control of your money. Because when you tell your money where to go, you stop wondering where it went. And that one decision can completely change your financial future. Your budget doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Start small. Stay consistent. Trust the process. And remember, every financially successful person started with a plan. Now it's your turn to create yours.